Nama. Greetings to everyone world over, all our brothers and sisters across the globe. We extend you a hearty welcome. Today, it is a very special program. That's why instead of 9 p.m., we have come 5 p.m. to you. But as far as my brothers, sisters across the globe is concerned, we will, because it's a live telecast going world over. We are in different time zones, we are in different continents. People, those are in Southeast Asia, you are 2.5 hours ahead of us. Those are in Middle East, they are just behind 2.5 hours, depending on the country. And people across other places, I'm pretty sure they are having the last lap of the sleep in the morning. And by the time they get up, we will have the micro, small, and medium enterprise, something very special coming to everyone world over so that we all can enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, MSME is a concern of everybody. MSME is needed, which is the backbone of the economy world over. 90% of the business, when we talk about whether micro, small, medium, whatever is taking place. And of course, any country's economy, when we talk about three parts, you've got agriculture, you've got manufacturing, and you've got services. This morning, this afternoon, this evening, depending on the time zone, wherever you are, we have got a very, very distinguished guest. I have been watching him and following him on the WhatsApp groups, and there, every time, whatever he posts, it is of so much of value to the humanity and to everybody. And I made a humble request to him out of his busy schedule. Can he be kind enough to spare some time and to be with us and share his vision? Ladies and gentlemen, we have got this evening very distinguished person, Mr. K.E. Raghunathanji. He is popularly known as MSME Raghu, but I won't take that liberty to call him with a small, I'll call him Raghunathanji. And he's a multifaceted personality, and he has got a lot of accomplishment to his credit. He is the first generation entrepreneur, and almost about, if I go over the time, 3.5 plus, the decade part of the experience running the MSME unit. And he's very specially focused. Initial part now, next to his heart, is the solar energy. Yes, we all need solar energy space as a pioneer. He was also selected as the best small scale industrialist by Government of India in 1997. What a privilege. Currently, he is the national chairman of Association of Indian Entrepreneurs. It is a non-profit initiative to bring all the informal employees and the micro entrepreneurs under one umbrella. And he is also the convener of the consortium of the Indian Association, which is basically a confluence. And there are, I think, more than 60, 65 MSMEs associations, and they have been all brought for their unified voice under one umbrella. He has won many awards, many recognition, widely traveled. He is very passionate, about the speeches from the heart and for the progress of both employers as well as the employees. He has done various programs on radio, television, and a couple of other print medias. He has dedicated himself, when I talk about MSME, basically to uplift the entrepreneurs. You got to move to the next level. And the people, those are coming into entrepreneurship, how do you step in? How do you get in? And he basically works as a bridge between the policymakers and the beneficiaries. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me have a privilege and join me in extending a very warm welcome to Sri K.E. Raghunathanji. And we are from the world over, extend our greetings. Vanakkam, namaskaram, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And if I talk in solar part, it's a green morning, green afternoon, green evening, and the entire universe and all the youth, educators, teachers, trainers, counselors, and technocrats, people, let's take it, the vision, and let's take the cerebrum from Sri K.E. Raghunathanji.
Good evening, Dr. Major Gulshan Sharmaji, and friends who are watching this and listening to this. You know, some people, the voice itself radiates you. It gives you the vibrant feel. It makes you feel more confident. And God has blessed abundantly with that kind of a voice through Dr. Gulshan. You cannot say no to him. You can never say no to him. You can, at the maximum, delay and say yes. I wanted to talk today on the tough side of an entrepreneur. There's always two sides of a coin. You know, I have been a first generation entrepreneur. I did my engineering, I did my master's from IIT, came out of the college in 1983. No one in my entire family were ever in business. They were all used to monthly income earning. I started my solar industry in 1984. At that time, there was no policy, not even necessity were felt. Products were not there. Subsidies were not there. It was only a department of non-conventional energy sources. I used to fight and say, this is the conventional energy sources. God has been too kind to me in my life. I was able to survive till my age of 60 as an entrepreneur. I have had a path which took me into 3 times facing the bankruptcy, 2 times went very close to winding up. This is on one side. The other side was I was selected as a best entrepreneur. I became the first Indian to set up a foreign company in solar energy in Singapore. I was an advisor to the president of Singapore, president of Nigeria. I wrote the Black Empowerment Program. I wrote 2 5-year plans of the government of India. With all these credibilities on one side, the testing times were really astonishingly taking me. Fortunately for me, 2 things saved me. One was my clean-handed, honest entrepreneurial journey in my life. This hand has never corrupted anybody in my entire life. The second was my passion to be in solar business and only in solar business. Thankfully, I have crossed through. God gave me the happiest career. I retired at the age of 60, which was 2019, handed over the company to the people who worked for me for 35 years, walked out the way I entered into it with empty hands, came out and to serve the society without any expectations. The voice of the voiceless is what I cherish myself to be. There are always good side of the decision. There are always affected parties of a decision. I speak on behalf of the affected parties. If someone has to make criticisms, it's not that easy. You need to very clearly define why the criticism is coming from and what is the remedial course for that criticism. Otherwise, you will be agreed upon as a simple critic and passed away. I used to do a lot of studies and survey materials. During the COVID period, the Consortium of Indian Association or my earlier tenure as a national president of All India Manufacturers Organization, we did a survey during demonetization period. And that survey was the first ever survey which prescribed 65% job loss and 35% revenue loss. And that was tabled or quoted even in the parliament at that time. The second survey was done when the GST was introduced and the pains of the people were galling because of the timing and the methodology and the readiness. The third was during the COVID phase one, when the whole industries were struggling to know when will this end? When will I be able to restart? How will I cope up? How will I be able to survive again back? The whole way of looking at business has changed. The last survey was done after 1 year of all the COVID setbacks, which was last year. And all the study materials became part of our recommendations to the government. Certain things have to be said in a very strong manner because the micro enterprises in India, which constitute about 99% of the total industries in India, the definition of micro industry is less than 5 crores of turnover a year, is the one which is mostly owner driven, which is mostly a self driven, which is mostly in informal sector of an employment or employer. We have learnt a new terminology called gig working. We have learnt a new technology called app-based working, delivery agents, delivery partners, associates. All this has become suddenly visible and vibrant in India. The last 4 years has seen tremendous technological shift over. The conventional automobile sector from the petrol and diesel has moved on to the e-vehicles and nitrogen vehicles now. The conventional industries have changed over to drones and AI-based technologies. On one side, we talk about the AI dispensing job opportunities. On the other side, we talk about global superpower being readied. If we don't move with the flow, then we will perish ourselves. There has been a tremendous challenge of the way the education system is imparting as a student, and when he passes out, the technology advancements takes over, and he is still a novice in sailing through. So it has become evident a continuous skill development, continuous knowledge development, continuous way of working has to be there. To that extent, we have today innovation center, incubation centers, mentoring, hand-holding, technology, backbone supportive systems, they are all in place. India has proved the last 4 years there has been a tremendous growth in startup enterprises. The number of unicorns in India have touched 140, which was never been the history before. The world is looking at India as a country which will take the lead and show the way. We have become the fastest growing economy despite all the setbacks everybody had. We were able to bounce back faster, but yet, is the entrepreneur being taken care? Is the one-man show organizations being taken care? Have we done our best to them? That is the biggest concern. Now, I wanted to share my own experiences and the feelings and the opinions with the audience here, especially those who could appreciate the pains of a people who needs our care and support. I'm aware I'm speaking for Chamber of Service Industry, and I am aware the service industry is the real backbone of this country, which creates informal employment opportunity to crores and crores of people. If there is no service, there is no existence of anybody. Manufacturing we can import. A product can be imported, but a service can only be rendered at the doorstep of the person who needs it. The service industry, many think it is more of software related services, ITES services is the service industry. Not necessarily. A Ola driver is a service industry. A tourist guide is a service industry. An air conditioner AMC maintenance guy is a service industry. A cobbler is a service industry. You cannot survive without them. Are they being looked into? Are they being cared? Is there an importance we attach to them? The pity answer is, oh, really, no. Some of you might be very surprised with the way I am speaking about the importance of service industry because we have not realized it. Sometimes the diamond is never realized when it is in our hands. It is realized only when it is in somebody else's hands. The worth of it is known only by the others. Can an entrepreneur access finance in this country easily? Not that easy. Go to the bank. You can't even meet the bank manager, first of all. They will ask you for a projection of next 5 years balance sheets, which this entrepreneur will not know what to say, how to prepare. He will be asked hundreds and questions which he has no formal education to answer. It's all about the attitude of the person. And I'm sure most of you know about this classic example. A shoe manufacturing company wanted to hire a sales manager to develop a specific market in an island. So they interviewed and shortlisted two young men. And they said, the young men, please go to this island for 1 week and come back to us and tell us what is the potential of this island for our chapels. They both went and came back, and one boy said, there is zero potential there because no one there seems to know what is a chapel. The other person said it's a virgin market because nobody knows what a chapel there. It's all about the attitude. Now you go and ask a serviceman by a bank manager what is likely to be your market share in the next 1 year in that particular industry you are entering. What is the likely number of visitors you are into your restaurant, which you think you can anticipate? He has no answer because he wants to serve the society, he wants to bet on himself, and he wants to offer his best. And there will be takers. He is hoping for that. If it is not, he will reinvent himself and survive in some other mode of life because that's all he knows. There used to be a joke saying, even if you go to an Everest, you will find a Malayali tea shop there. Because Malayalis can make the wonderful tea in the light. Wherever you put them, they can create a tea shop. They have made a name for themselves in that particular activity. Has India cared for such people? Lending them money, lending them a risk capital, lending them a carpet if they fall not to get hurt, hearing their problems. If they alert the bank well in advance, do we protect their interests? The big sad answer is, oh no, There is no system which can even hear him. We all talked during the COVID time of 2 years. We all talked about how manufacturing industries bounced back, which was evident from the GST collections of the government itself. But how did the service industry bounce back? Think. Suddenly, when the flood come in Chennai, most of the cars become stranded. Then they realize the importance of the car service centers. Suddenly, everything is full. When there is nobody bothers. 18% is a service tax levied on every service in this country which is offered to a consumer, irrespective whether he is an individual or a private limited or a limited company. 18% is a tax which the revenue is collected by the government. On an average, a service industry or a micro entrepreneur pays 16 to 18% as an interest. On an average, the entrepreneur faces heavy threat to survive from a corporate industry. What are we witnessing today? Every type of an industry where such entrepreneurs were surviving today has become corporatized. Parlors, saloons, spa today has become corporate. There used to be a saloon run by a barber every street corner. We used to not just go there only to have a haircut. We get to know the system. We get to know how the society. We get to know the people around us. We spend some time. We get friendly on such occasions. We develop communications. We develop empathy on people. And end of it, we will still pay him pittance to get our haircut done. Today, you need to get an appointment. The appointment comes to you after 1 week. You just go, sit in the place, and take the token, or your app is giving you notification that your time is ready. There will be a specialist, there will be a styler, there will be every sorts of jargons used, and you will end up spending minimum of 2,500 rupees per visit. And we don't talk, we don't mix, we don't learn, we don't feel empathy. Corporate has taken over. Slowly, India is becoming like China, use and throw products. Today, you buy a washing machine at home. We don't repair it any longer. When there is a repair in 2 years' time, the mechanic comes and says, yes, sir, you better change it. Because this PCB board is not available. It has become obsolete. Inverter AC has become much more difficult for the people to get it serviced. Haven't you and I used a fan in our house even for 30 years without changing it? Haven't we very happy in our life that we can trust and use the product? Where are those products now? Weight is coming down, say, but the cost is going up. And the life is coming down because there is no serviceability. I was told during summers, the air conditioner sale is much faster in buying the product, but to get it installed takes 10 days to 15 days because there is no installer available. The intention of a service provider is becoming evident day by day. It makes us feel going back to the olden days is much more better for us to live in a better way. Raw material availability for the service people is not made available. Earlier, if you buy an ambassador car, you can get that car serviced at any place of a mechanic. You can go to the General Motors Road and buy any component of it. Right from a washer to a nut to a carburetor, you can buy there. Today, if you have a car, if there is a problem, you must only go to the authorized service center. A friend of mine who had bought a new car 15 days back, he was driving in a highway. Suddenly, a dog came, hit on the front. The dog survived, so not an issue, but the radiator got dented. He took the car to the service center and they said to replace the radiator, it will take 1 month because they have to place the order and the company has to send it and then they have to do it, replace it. I remember my father used to have a Fiat. The radiator, if it leaks, it takes us 10 minutes to take it to a nearest tinkering fellow. That fellow will just brace it and close it and say, sir, go. He won't even charge you for that. He will say, sir, we will see later, sir. Go, sir, first now. That is what we used to laugh at, enjoy it. Today, technologies have made us become very dependent on the source of supplier, not at the place of user. We may call online trade, we may call e-commerce, we may call process of return is very simple. We may call buyback offers, we may call zero interest credit cards, we may call financial engineering, but the product engineering has taken a beating. It looks beautiful but works shabby. My friends, the service sector, the service industries, the service entrepreneur and the micro entrepreneur who all have, they can only grow depending on somebody. They can never demand, they can never command, but their presence is always necessary. People like me, people like you, people like Dr. Sharma, we are there to protect their interests. The budget, year after year, it comes every year. In another 1 week's time, 2 weeks' time, the budget for the 25-26 should be out. There is a ritual. I'm not talking about the halwa. I'm talking about listening to the associations to know what the budget should be. I have been part of those discussions for nearly 11 years. And I have never ever seen in the real budget any of the points given during the suggestions have really been implemented. It has always been so. But you will be surprised when the revenue secretary, when the finance secretary, when the finance minister, when you speak, they will appreciate you. Wow, brilliant idea. Fantastic idea. I think we must do it, but nobody will build a cat. But so far, the budget has always been concentrating on helping formal industries, formal corporates, for example. The last budget came out with the skill development program for the top 500 companies in India to skill or internship provision for more than 1 crore of people, youngsters. We came out with a PLI scheme, which was again meant for corporates. I think this year we should dedicate the budget for the informal entrepreneurs because the biggest challenge we have today is unemployment and survival of an entrepreneur. They both have been shaken up in the last 4 or 5 years. COVID has shaken them up, the economy slowed down, the war, various factors have really put them behind the bars. This budget, in my opinion, should get dedicated to uplift them We should create a separate mechanism in which the fund is being never a problem for an entrepreneur to survive. We should protect their business models from being corporatized. When I see for a Diwali program 1 week, e-commerce platform doing 75,000 crore business online, my eyes are weeping because that much of a business to be done by the traders in the market who run a shop, who slog from 6 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock in the night without any holiday, leaving the family behind, surviving, supporting, and taking care of the people around them, have lost that business. The profits are made. Profits are migrated out of this country because most of the e-commerce platforms are owned by foreigners. We are losing our own entrepreneurs in the life. The micro enterprises are getting replaced with import substitution. Go to Coimbatore and see. The one which was known for the pump manufacturing, moldings, is today dying without orders. They are not able to compete with the taxation of 18% tax. They are not able to stay at Coimbatore, produce at Coimbatore, create a global market, and sell globally with the service centers across the country. Things are finding it difficult to survive. Small is always beautiful. But in the case of an entrepreneur, small has always been tough to look at. Tourism is another tremendous area where lot of job opportunities, lot of people can survive, stay, and grow. I was in Vietnam for a holidaying for 7 days about 2 weeks back. Such a small country. What amount of tourism they have developed in the last 3 years? Look at India. What is that we don't have? If somebody has to come to India and witness India, they need minimum of a month. That's a kind of the treasures we have. But have we exploited it? Even today, you come with me to Mahabalipuram. A gypsy girl, small girl, will talk in Deutsch, will talk in German, will talk in Russia, will talk in English to sell the beads. Come to Madurai. The small vendors will speak multiple foreign languages to market themselves. Such a beautiful country, such a wonderful treasures, whether you call it in beach, whether you call hill station, whether you call it for golf, whether you call it for temples, spiritual, whatever it is, Mahakumbh, inviting people from across the world. We are developing world-class facilities. India is changing its face. If the face has to change faster, then the bottom line must be stronger. The bottom line is the entrepreneurs. These are the foundations. And unfortunately, I see this foundation is shaking. We are not caring for them. We are not nurturing them. We are not realizing their importance. The way an entrepreneur is looked at in India is today disaster. He is looked at as a crook. He is looked at as a willful defaulter. He is looked at as someone who will run away with money. Oh, that has never been a situation. We used to command a tremendous respect as an entrepreneur before. Even today, when I go to US, when I see somebody, what are you doing? I run a self startup. There is a tremendous amount of appreciation for him. Oh, you run a startup. Excellent. If somebody asks the same question to somebody in India, what are you doing? Startup. Oh my God, then you must be under tremendous pressures. How are you able to survive? You better take up a job in a multinational company. Work for 4 days a week or 5 days a week or work from home. Have all the comforts and earn. Why are you doing this? Because the moment I work in a multinational company, banks are willing to give me any amount of personal loans, credit card loans. I hold 10 credit cards. I hold 3 memberships. I get even food at a concessional price. I get traveling at a concessional price. So an entrepreneur actually sacrifices many things to be on his own legs. My friends, time has come for all of us to wear a cap of focus on entrepreneurs. It's easy to classify informal and formal. It's easy to classify organized and unorganized. It's easy to classify small and medium. It's easy to classify vultures versus angels. But every house must have at least 2 entrepreneurs if this country has to become a superpower in the world. Out of 145 crores of population, a country producing close to 15 lakhs of engineers a year, the country holding the youngest large population in the world, we can't provide jobs to them, but we can create them as a job givers. The gig working community has to be tremendously looked upon. In terms of technology, in terms of financing, in terms of stability, in terms of worryless working, in terms of compliances pressure, they should not be subjected to tax terrorisms. They should only be told to have appreciations and commitments, not notices and warrants. The country's attitude must change towards such entrepreneurs. That is not the case today. Today, I know 70% of the entrepreneurs who are running their business who are plus 50. There was a survey done by us. We asked them, would your next generation would be willing to step into your shoes to run your business continuous? 92% said they would not like their children to step into their business. My friends, this is statistics. If 92% of the present entrepreneurs do not want their children to step into their business, which means so much, we are failing to recognize such feelings. A shopkeeper's son does not want to any longer continue as a shopkeeper. Fair enough. But we will not have shops. If there is no shop, there is no rental income for those people who are living in that place. The whole ecosystem of this country will get shaken up. We need to provide the platform for the entrepreneurs. We need to create a listening capacity towards their pains. We need to have a different attitude towards their outlooks. We need to consider each of the entrepreneur as our own children. The country can only prosper if the entrepreneurs prosper. The entrepreneurs can only prosper if there is an opportunity to grow. The opportunity can be provided with only the right attitude of those who create the policies. I would like to stop at this point. I would like to ask Major to ask me any points which you would like me to elaborate or add on to it.
In fact, it's going on. The flow is so good. It's in the right direction. I have become speechless. I want to listen to you more and more because you're talking something from your heart and it is reaching and touching hearts. Still, if you permit, there are one or two questions. If you permit, I'll just take on in between. Somebody has
Please,
asked you that, sir, this is very difficult to go into a startup for a student who has passed from a average college, normal college, not from a very big metro or IIT or IIMs. How do you feel and what would you like to suggest? How do they go by and how there should be ease of starting the business and getting the right exposure? This is a question has come from Madam Chitra Kapoor.
Madam, the younger generation feel starting an enterprise is for making valuation. All their goal is to create a big PowerPoint presentation, a vision, and then sell the concept to an investor and create just valuation. And then they don't run the business. Very short term. There are success stories. You take Ola for that matter. There are success stories which went from nothing to a unicorn status. But at every stage, they made profit to survive. At every stage, they proved that their thought process is scalable. At every point, they wanted watering of the plant, what they needed to water. Not because somebody said, I'll give you 2,000 crore, write your script. I'll give you 10,000 crore, write your script. They took the step what was needed. I'm part of an investor forum. When we go and see several presentation of an entrepreneur, we find they have not done their homework properly. They are not serious. If we ask them one or two questions, they don't want to answer. They talk jargon such as force majeure clauses. They feel their secrets will be out. They want to keep everything inside their chest. But unless a person who puts money into your company must know what you are. So it's a egg first or a chicken first. It's a trust deficit. I feel he is not showing because he doesn't know. He feels if he shows it, but if he exposes, if he doesn't get the money, I will steal with his idea. In my life, in a solar business, I would have generated at least about 17 products myself. None of the products I patented it. The first rooftop solar system was done by me in 1988.
Oh,
1988. 20 houses in Chennai were taken up, converted into a rooftop solar system where the concept of an inverter was not there, concept of a solar module was not much known, the concept of monitoring was not there, evacuation of power is not there, and synchronization with the local EB connection is also not very poor. I did 20 houses. Took at that time the secretary of the Department of Non-Conventional Energy Sources to demonstrate the product. People used to ask me, why are you not patenting your products? I used to always say, even today I continue to say, why should I patent my product? If someone can pick up this concept and develop something better than me, I should be happier.
wow. Wow.
They can copy my product. They cannot copy me.
Yes.
As long as my brain is sharp, as long as I am the best, if he develops a better product than me, I will develop another much better product than him.
Wow, what a
It is the
competitive.
survival of the fittest.
Yes,
I don't need a closely held rights for my product. I want my baby to be on the sky. I have developed it for a mankind and it will be developed for the mankind by the people. This was my thought process. But today's people feel it is not so. The first thing they rush and get a patent, IP rights. I feel very funny, very funny. Because I saw somebody whose technology is just a CAD CAM design in a PPT presentation, and he is applying for a patent right. There is no proof of his product. There is no demonstration of his product. There is no certification of his product. There is no backup for his claims on the product. But he wants patent because with that patent, he feels he can value the company 200 crores and then work on developing the product. So egg first or chicken first is coming. Some of the entrepreneurs I know very painfully struggling. I know today mostly honest entrepreneurs are largely struggling because they are honest, they are truthful, but the system works. The system works. It's not the IIT, it is not the place where you belong to. It is your concept, it's your product, it's your strength, it's your drive, it's your commitment that matters.
great, great. I hope, Chitra ma'am, that solves your question. Now, somebody else has asked, is there any plan of your association to work towards specifically mentioned adventure tourism entrepreneurs? I won't take only adventure tourism. Let's take the whole canvas of the tourism because you are national chairman of Association of Indian Entrepreneurs. So, scope, canvas, little bit more brushes and colors.
I think developing tourism is something which all of us must get involved. All of us must get involved. The travel part within the country has become increased. The air connectivity within India has become fantastic today. The road connectivity has become fantastic today. The social media has given enough hype to events. Last 2 days in Tamil Nadu, we have the famous Jallikattu, the bullfighting.
Okay.
It has become the very popular now. It has become the something which people would love to go and watch. By and large, our Prime Minister has also taken up the subject of building Indian tourism spots. Traveling has become essential. Every family needs to travel at least twice in a year, within the country first, and then outside the country next.
Wow.
The entrepreneurs who are serving the tourists must feel elated in servicing them, not fleecing them. That is an area where we need to help them understand. If we go to Thailand, people realize that tourism is their breadwinner. They treat you royals. They treat you with respect. You go to Vietnam, people treat you with respect. Everybody there around support the foreigner because if they earn a bad name with the foreigner, their livelihood will be lost. But in India, we are still afraid to take an auto rickshaw when we are in a new place without a meter. We don't know which is the right price, which is the wrong price. We don't know who is a cheat, who is genuine. We tend to look at people as a cheat and then change our mind if he is good. I think this attitude must change with the people of India. We must start depending on foreign exchange earning. We must start depending on welcoming the foreigners with open arms and hands and wheels and feelings. We should be grateful to them and we should showcase India in the best of its form, not in the worst of its form.
Super, super. Wonderful, wonderful what you have given. Thank you. And another question has come from Vishal Dhiman. He writes, Sir, do you feel that the government of India is promoting exports by SMEs to the extent it should, or would love to know more about it? What is your intake on that?
In my personal opinion, the government has actually been a speed breaker for MSMEs for export market. Go to Tirupur and see. People are 90% of them are functioning at 30% capacity utilization.
Oh, God. Hmm.
Either the cotton prices have gone up
Hmm.
or the import duties have been reduced, so the Bangladesh clothes in this country are become much higher than what it was, or container problems are becoming very high because large companies are cornering the containers and not allowing it to be given for small sellers. The big companies have started accumulating stock and releasing it at high cost for small time buyers. I think we have done nothing excepting a silent spectatorship in seeing these people die.
That's
They are not
sorry.
protected from the exchange rate problems. They are not protected by the national calamity. They are not protected with the duty drawbacks. They are not being given the input tax credit refunds in a faster manner. They are not supported in realizing their values coming from the foreign suppliers. They are not helping them to upgrade their technology skills. They are not providing them with the information of what fashion is created elsewhere, which will have a demand next year. In imports and exports, the planning is minimum of 1 year. The American company places the order on their suppliers. For next year's summer needs, they place it today. The design changes. We have not created such facilities for the MSMEs to be updated with the knowledge, to be updated with the technologies, to upgrade their production techniques. We are still slogging. We are making them slog financially, day to day, hand to mouth living. How will they be able to survive?
Sometimes we fail to understand when we see that this particular segment, this particular area, or this foundation is so strong for the economy to be developed. When we talk about 5 trillion economy, 10 trillion economy, uplifting the people and all, and there are different components which we have to take. Youth, those are coming out from schools, colleges, universities, ITIs, polytechnic institutions. Uh, are they not properly skilled or chiseled or given enough competencies, or the corporate sector is not holding the hand with the education academia? Why not the corporate should reach the institution itself and deliver at least one lecture in a week, so that instead of a raw material or criticizing later on, the finished product comes from there and that is consumable and acceptable. And when we know MSME is so important, why we are somewhere, uh, I'm going to say, I don't know. I don't know the question itself, because why the ecosystem is not working in a proper way, and where are the holes and how it is to be plugged. If we can conclude with that today's session, that would be very kind of you, in a very positive way. I'm very positive.
No, things are changing.
Ha.
Things are changing, but it's difficult to get many things in place in India that easily. Take, for example, wearing helmet has been made compulsory. How many we really see wearing helmet? I have seen many people carry the helmet in their hands and laps and not wear it. Educated people.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Mm.
They neither know the importance of wearing a helmet, they just want someone's eyes to be cheated. Many things we are taking it for granted. Many things we feel we can handle it. Many things we feel I can meet the politician, get my favor done. I can meet the IAS officer, get my favor done. I know the shortcut. I know the brokers. The life doesn't evolve. There is no shortcut to success. The route with which money is made must be highlighted hereafter. The values are being lost in India. I can see that in the next generation of youngsters. On one side, I am proud to see sharp youngsters. On the other side, I am sad to see lost youngsters. We bring several laws in this country. We have several laws. We have several law implementing agencies. But still, you and I will notice a two-wheeler going in one wheel in a speed. We still haven't lost the touch of honking while driving. We still haven't changed our mindset. We still have the feeling of chalta hai. We can face it. I think the government is doing its best. Unfortunately, rules are made for the rule breakers. And today, the rule breakers in India are much, 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 much higher. So, the way the rules are made is spoiling even the genuine people to suffer. So, the crux of the problem is the change is becoming inevitable in India. The government wanted to bring a neat scheme for the medical college admissions. Even today, we are not able to implement it with the true spirits. Education policy has gone through tremendous criticism from the oppositions and the opponents and whatnot. GST has gone through tremendous criticism on both the sides. We are trying to see where are we leading to. Priorities are getting changed. We are losing our value systems in between. The next generation is not getting prepared to face the next futuristic lifestyles. Everything has become short lived, shortcut, short routes. I'm sure you and I at this age would have never gone through any shortcuts in our entire life. Our parents would not have allowed us. Even if we wanted to, our parents would have said, no, nothing doing, stay at home. I
Okay.
still remember. I still remember
Mm.
when I was in third year of engineering college, we had a OC Bisa music troupe in Chennai performing. I asked my mom, my friends, we wanted to go for the OC Bisa. She firmly said, no, nothing doing. You are not going to such places. She locked the door, kept the keys below her pillow. We only cried, but we could not grow. Can I do that with my granddaughter now? Just impossible. And because we listened to them, our thought process was also honed. Today, there is no visa. Today, it is like the helmet on my lap. If I meet with an accident, not only my head, but also my helmet will get crushed.
Mind
That is the
blowing,
problem.
mind
That is
blowing,
the issue.
mind blowing, mind blowing. What a meaningful and what an insight you have given to the entire the entire discussion, and particularly a lot of insight you have given for our younger generation so that they should understand and how the future should be shaped. And at the same time, you have also given the concern of the MSMEs. And I personally feel, as a national chairman of Association of Indian Entrepreneurs, you are wearing such a hat where a lot of challenges are there, but we'll find the way. The soldiers will march together. Our chamber for service industry would look forward to it. And there's a demand which has come before I conclude today's program. I personally
Thank you, sir. Thank
that
you.
that there should be a separate session for your solar energy journey, and some of the entrepreneurs are keen bits and pieces they want, that if they want to manufacture and get into some kind of an area, and then some services part of that is to be done vis-a-vis the normal electricity system. So on behalf of all our viewers, listeners, and people who will watch your video tonight when it goes into the normal time of year at 9 p.m., because now at present 5 p.m., that was something a little official time, office time, and a couple of other things. And students also at tuitions, and some of them might be into some other zones. So, with these words, on behalf of Chamber for Service Industry and all our viewers and all our brothers and sisters across the globe in different time zones, we convey our deepest gratitude and thanks to Sri K.E. Raghunathanji, the national chairman of the Association of Indian Entrepreneurs, for sparing his most valuable time. And my personal request to him that we should have a session on MSME. And he had been very, very kind to give a focus towards services sector also, and policymakers also, youth also, and everybody, how we have to move on. Last word of yours before we close the session. Final inspiration for the youth.
Sky is the limit. Go for it, but go with honesty. People should be not only proud of your achievements, but also how you achieved it. The process is more important than the result alone.
Wow. Wow. Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Deep gratitude and thanks to you. And namaskaram
Thank you,
and
sir. Thank you, sir.
vanakkam.